Welcome to another day of Ether Raids. We are doing a rematch today against Joy, or maybe that's not how you say that, I don't know. But yeah, we're gonna go with the Camilla. Well, Camilla isn't here. You'll see her in a minute. I call it the Camilla team. Maybe I shouldn't. I should call it the Tana team or the Thor team. Thor Force. Yeah, that's what we'll call it. Yeah, so that's what the plan is. We're gonna go up here and bop the opponent. Gotta wait a couple of turns though, because I can't break the structure here since they will have access with Sigurd. So I can't break that, and then just play the waiting game. I could have probably figured out a way to get Camilla on the team to begin with, but it would probably have been a requirement to drop Layla into the summoning circle spot, or maybe even Elm. Couldn't have been Elm. Would have been. I don't know. Don't know how that would have worked, but yeah. Camilla is gonna pop out of the surprise circle, and we're gonna then go up there and bop the opponent in this rematch today. He got real lucky, although it's probably not luck. Maybe he calced it, I don't know. But he got, from my perspective, when I watched it, it was pretty lucky. The guy had just missed the kill by about 4. Some debuffs, of course, and some support. Probably could have swung that. It's just 4. Definitely could have swung that in my favor if I had like a drive or something to help Makai survive the retaliation. But it's cool. Could have been worse. I mean, we lost. That's the worst it can possibly be. But I mean, it was close. So we're doing the rematch here, and we'll get going. He has the beast seal here on his Neathhogger because she's surrounded. And there are no other beast units on the team, so she has a transformation condition that requires for there to be at least one other beast unit on the field. So since that's not going to be met, beast seal is a requirement. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure there'd be Hardy Baron there or something. But we're going to take advantage of the spaces that are around the team, and we're going to warp in and do what we need to do to get going here. Break this, I think, safely. And then just want to get out of Athos's range because he has the Lin Ring. I'm going to stand on the summoning circle here because I want Camilla to pop out above Thor to give her more options in attack. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. The trap placement here is really annoying, but understandable because that's where the traps would have to go. Looking at, if you're going to be using the summoning circle, that's kind of the only setup that you can really run based on how his map is laid out. Otherwise, you just run the risk of someone getting sniped since there's no near save here. Not that it would matter since we have Elm. We could more than likely just create our own opening. I could have baited Yunaka because I have a Hardy Bearing team on Mythic Neathhogger, but it felt like a hassle. And then, trying to figure out what to do with Sigurd, potentially getting hit with AoE, just felt like too much to deal with. So yeah, we're just gonna do it this way. It's quicker, even though I'm waiting until turn 3, but it is quicker than if I were to try to tank this. For some reason, Medius is not getting his remix and refine. I thought they said that he was gonna be this month, or maybe they were just saying that he's up next, but somehow Deirdre skipped the line, and now we're getting Deirdre, and Midias got pushed back. What's that about? Because it's not like there's any dragons that are like, it's Rhea, but then also Rhea neutralizes her dragon effective damage or the dragon effectiveness, so doesn't really matter. I guess maybe Deirdre could win the Restrect because she does have like sky high res, so I guess that's a potential option. I wasn't expecting that. I gotta go look at my Deirdre to see what's going on in terms of her build and stuff, because it looks like it's going to be an interesting refine and remix that she'll get. That's interesting. Both of them popped out at the same time, and then Camilla popped out in a spot that I did not want her to go. I thought she'd pop out above Thor, but she popped out to the left of Layla, but I guess that makes sense. We can attack on that tile even though the trap's there because Camilla has 70 HP, so it doesn't matter. The Hex Trap is totally free to attack on. and it was faked anyway, so it didn't matter. And now I just gotta worry about where the other two traps, which are purple, covered by purple haze, so I can't even see them. Luckily, I know where they were to begin with. We're taking out Neathogger here because she has the wart block, and then I'm gonna get Tana up there so that we can get going. And that's when the real fun starts. I should probably call it Tana Force. It's really, because she's really the one that does all the work here. Trap is there, so I can't warp there. Got to figure out whose action I want to waste here, and it's probably going to be Elm, since he is doing. He's not a Gale Forcer, and I would get the feud effect or the undefended effect as well. So probably makes sense to do that. Yeah, and then we get extra actions with Camilla because she used it in the summoning circuit. It makes sense to put her there since I'm running Gale Force on her, because she'll get 3 actions. Okay, we found the real trap. All right, cool. Doesn't matter. I just gotta get Tana up there and see who she can take out. Not too excited by the remixes that are coming, refines that are coming. Ooh, 3 dead. She's debuffed, isn't she? Okay, yeah, that's Micaiah. Can't get up there until Tana attacks.
I seek a foe.
Okay, we take out Athos. Because he has a drive and 3. I think we can swing that if we take out Athos. Otherwise, we'd have to dance Tana. But yeah, we're gonna take out Athos, and then I gotta figure out who to pin. Also gotta figure out a way to get Elm out of the way, because I think I'm gonna pin Micaiah instead of Yunaka. Yeah, Micaiah feels like the better play. But yeah, let's just get this going. Yeah, wasn't very enthused by some of the remix options that were coming up, Refine and Remix. I can't even remember who they are aside from Deirdre and Myr. Myr looks interesting. One of the key things that she was missing was neutralizing flyer effectiveness, Iode Shield. She came out around the same time that the Gilliam's banner came out. You remember Gilliam, the armored unit, right?
Message
okay,
received.
cool. So usually I'd pair them together, but really it felt like a waste. You really wanted Myr to have her own flyer neutralization, and she is getting that in her thing. So I think that's pretty good. And then there's some extra stuff as well. It's kind of whatever. She came with Unity, right? Defense Res Unity. Yeah, I think I saw something about her getting neutralized penalties to attack and defense or something like that, but I was like, why would she need that if she has Unity? But regardless, she looks like she's going to be okay, I guess, as okay as she could potentially be. She's going to give out Drive Warp Bubble, which is aging poorly because everything is going to have pass. So, yeah, what are you going to do with that, really? But yeah, she's looking like she's going to be a pretty decent unit, as well as Deirdre. 2 blue Refine and Remixes. Interesting. I don't know what that's. A lot of blue units in the game. Red is really strong. It's an interesting balance. Currently, red is really strong. It's very rare that red is this dominant. Usually, there's one red unit, we had Ike last year, but there's a few of them currently. And blue is not far behind. Green is actually, what do you have on green? Camilla. Oh, okay, never mind. So yeah, the pretty balanced. This is one of the few times that all the colors have had some type of powerful unit that is able to compete, and that's good. I like when there isn't an imbalance between obviously using blue units at the end of last year. That was really all it was about. All of the Omni tanks were blue, and you had to pretty much run Micaiah to counter that. So this is pretty good in terms of where we are at in that regards. So far, Elm, I haven't well, there was one person that mashed into me, and he demolished my defense, as you would expect. I did have a plan on how to counter it, but like I said, Marth, with all the buffs, the +7 to all stats, it just wasn't fun. It didn't play well with what I was trying to do with the rally trap, so it was either run that or completely rebuild my defense, and I don't think I'm ready to do that yet. So yeah, I don't know. SDR is up and running. Have not practiced yet, or as much as I would like. It should be pretty straightforward. I feel like it's going to be a plug and play, unless I end up in practice battles and realize that that is not the case. But I'm feeling like it probably should be just plug and play with Marth, and
I'll handle this.
you know, we'll figure it out from there. It's Erica plus Elencia plus someone else that I forget right now as the bonus units. If anything, I'll probably put Erica in since she's a cav and she can cover decent range. But yeah, that's pretty much going to be what I'm going to be doing for the next couple of days. I mean, I got to play on either Friday or Saturday. I don't know which one. It's probably going to be Friday. And then, you know, hopefully we do well, at least get one win. And then that's pretty much it for, you know, exciting stuff or stuff that's currently ongoing. This match was pretty much made easy by Camilla being here, which is why I made this team. Camilla, as you are pretty much aware, just demolishes everything, and it helped that there was no near save. So, you know, what else is going to happen? If there's no near save, what's going to happen? Well, not that it even matters because Elm. But yeah, we're pretty much done. Gonna wait one more turn just to get the pots and call it there. Let's see, am I forgetting anything? Yeah, I really don't know why they, you know, it's probably because they don't have enough to put into Medius's refine and remix to make him good, so they pushed it off for a later date. Because I feel like if they did it right now, he wouldn't be, they'd have to give him like a shit ton of flat damage reduction in his B skill, and way more stuff. He'd have, I don't see what they could potentially give to Medius to make him good currently. So I can understand it from that standpoint in terms of why they pushed it off. Myr, well, let's see how good Myr is after she gets, after, you know, we get to test her. GG's. All right, welcome to another day of Ether Raids. We have another rematch today against Quinny, I think it is. I think we're going to have like a bunch of these rematches moving forward for Anima season at the very least, with Elm here being a thing. This is a rather interesting layout here that I actually really like now, given the current state of Anima season. It's not even just a now thing. I think this is just a good defense overall. I think this would have worked well regardless of whether or not Elm was here. This is a turn one defense. I have experience making these. Sometimes I struggle a little bit trying to get it to work properly because it does rely heavily on the threat range of who is attacking. So you need like your strongest nukes to make this type of thing work, because it can be tanked, something like this, on turn one. But we have a ton of strong nukes in the game currently, and not, you know, that many great tanks. So I can definitely understand this type of defensive archetype making a comeback, probably even a cav line if you can figure out how to get the right pieces into place, because we do have the units, not the cavs, but the units in place to make this type of defense work, especially with Camilla here, which is why I'm taking her out first. She's the biggest threat because she has the most range, although you know, there is some space there that I could potentially block, but also Erica has the Sigurd ring, and that is a problem. It looks like the space is available, but it's actually not, because Erica also has massive range. Luckily, the breakable block here is going to be my savior, so we're going to hide behind that. And I brought baby Golvik along here this week. Finally, I've been saying this for a long time that I was going to bring her back because she's very good. I just couldn't find a spot to fit her on the team, so I figured since Elm is here, this is probably the best way to get an extra unit in. And here she is doing her job here, which is to shut down Emblem Lyn, prevent her from attacking. And then my biggest concern is going to be what Layla does. I think she'll just get stuck, you know, in the movement of all the melee units here. You know, I don't know what... well, she doesn't have an assist, Erica, so she's not going to really do anything. Maybe she'll break the block and run away. And then Duma, he might pivot, but I think he'll also get stuck as well. So let's see what happens there. Pivot Duma is actually insane with the Celica ring. You know, with pass as well. That's a really interesting build. I don't know if he's going to be able to kill anything. Probably, you know, for these squishy type of defenses with all range units, he can probably take out Lin, more than likely, since he has the attack stat and Lin has no res. Well, I guess Lin has no bulk overall, so he probably would have died anyways, but yeah, I just gotta take advantage of the space here, and we're also gonna get one additional spot since Duma is gonna break my healing tower, which these days doesn't even matter. Cheeky Smite here to help me get Plumeria all the way to safety, because she would have been in range of Erica had I not done that. So, you know, sometimes the positional skills work out in your favor. And I'm not quite sure what to do, but I'm probably going to put her in that little spot right there behind Lin. I feel like that's going to be a safe spot. Yeah, this is good defense, man. Really good defense. It is exactly the type of thing that I hope to run into when I do these rematches. Something to give me a challenge. This is definitely a well-constructed puzzle that I'm trying to take apart here. And yeah, it's going to be... yep. That's exactly what I was thinking would happen. Duma would get stuck. Interesting that he wasn't able to because someone was already in the way. If that was like swap or something, you know, it could work out better. But pivot gets him further down, so I understand the thinking behind that. Ooh. Lin Ring Layla. Okay.
Leave it to me.
All right, so we got a choice to make here. I got to figure out if I want to take out Emblem Lin or Layla. They're covering way too much, you know, range here. And then there's Erica and Duma. There's a lot going on for this turn. I can't even warp in with yeah, because, you know, Marth Vantage. I didn't even, you know, talk about the fact that I got to figure out what to do with Marth as well. Well, really, I just got to kill all of his friends, but ideally, I wouldn't want to leave him for last because that could potentially be problematic. But also, there's no one that I can lock, and since Duma can warp and Hathorn's a melee unit, yeah, Marth is looking like the best bet. Yeah, so let's do this.
A favor. Leave it to me.
I think I got something in mind here. We're gonna take out Layla.
Favorable wind.
And then we can't lock Lin again. We can't end Lin's turn again. Enemy Emblem Lin. So we're going to end Marth. We're going to end Marth's action because we haven't done it to him yet. So he will get stuck because if we let him move, or what will happen is that someone will warp below him and then he can warp within 2 spaces of that person. And that's not great. So we're going to end his action. He has the most potential range, unless Duma does something weird with the pivot, but Marth has the most potential range here, so we got to end his turn. And then I don't think Duma could potentially be a problem here, but again, since it's pivot, I think this middle section here is going to get clogged and he's not going to be able to get down, so we should be fine.
Sure, let's go.
Ideally, what I would like to do is get Baby Golveg, have someone in front of Baby Golveg, but I can't do that because
like
that person would have to tank Erica. And I don't think Elm can tank Erica in enemy phase, so that's not a great plan.
Sure,
but I do think we're going to get a bit lucky on this one with Duma's action. I think Duma's action is really the only thing that I'm concerned about for this turn. Because we're gonna get away from the enemy emblem, the enemy Lin, and then Marth will lose his turn. So it should work out fine after that, and then we're just gonna have to take out everyone else. You know, once they're in range, which they will be on turn 3. I'll get my extra unit, my bonus unit, who is not really surprised because you already saw we basically have the same team because my bonus unit is going to be Layla as well, so she's going to pop out in a little bit, and we'll see what we can do with her. I've been experimenting with the giant shuriken. Like I said, the might is pretty low. I was actually surprised that it can't be refined, but it in combat stats 5 + 7, that's what, like 12 or somewhere around there. Yeah, 12 might, which is fairly good for a brave weapon, even though on this particular team she doesn't necessarily need it. I could have ran her actual weapon here. That would have made more sense, but I didn't think it all the way through, so give me some grace with that one. But yeah, this is going to be the setup. Just got to get Baby Golvik here, which is why I put Thor there, so that we could warp. It's a whole very intricate puzzle here that I'm doing, and this worked out perfectly. That worked out perfectly. Interesting that you saw the order of the order of operations there. That was really bizarre because Duma had the opportunity to pivot there. Erica moved, then the nearest unit, which was Ather, and then Duma. That was actually pretty interesting. More than likely has to do with HP, because there is an order of operations in terms of like who has the most health. Sometimes that takes precedence over, like, you know, who's the closest. The game is weird. It's a lot going on there, but you know, we got lucky there. I feel like, and that's exactly what I was hoping would take place. If that was swap instead, probably he would have done something a lot sooner. Now all that's left is just to figure out what order to take out these units in, and I think, like I said, we're gonna leave Marth for last because Lynn. I don't think I can leave her alive and get the pots at the same time. It's gonna be too much of a hassle. And we get an extra action here with Layla, which is fantastic. So we're gonna take advantage of that and snipe. Or what should I do here? We're gonna take out Erica. Yeah, Erica. That was the play. Okay, and we'll get Lynn to take out Ather. So yeah, this is GG's. We've already won here. Very, very well thought out map, and I think I played this really well. Not perfect, because Duma did have the opportunity to get a snipe in there, but I feel like Duma kind of betrayed you. I feel like any other unit other than Duma would have made that advance and been able to snipe one of my units. So I acknowledge that people are trying to find creative ways around the Elm problem, but I don't think the answer is Duma, because he just doesn't do enough. And it's only like one season. You can't really... I'm pretty sure we're going to see Elm in Light Season as well, and maybe even Chaos. Is Chaos next? I think Chaos Season is next, which means we got another week of Elm. Fantastic. But yeah, I don't think Duma is the answer. I like how people are being creative and, you know, finding ways to include him and incorporate him into defenses again, but it feels like you're missing a unit, you know. Yes, he gets rid of the catapults, maybe, but I'd rather fill that slot with someone who can contribute just a little bit more, if you get what I'm saying. If there was a near save or a far save here, it would have been a little bit more difficult for me to try to do all the things, because I'd have to waste Elm's action every turn. So it would have been a little bit more challenging to break through this. I don't know, just my opinion, because if you swap out for a save, then Duma won't be there to break the catapult, and then you have to sit through 3 turns of torture. So lose, but then also if I was running the safety fence, then I wouldn't have had any space, be one less space for me to, you know, hide away in. And then also you can be over reliant on the safety fence, because sometimes, depending on how comfortable you are with, how familiar you are with, you can make mistakes. And Duma is one of those introductions into the season that can cause people to make mistakes by thinking that their safety fence won't get sniped. So yeah, it's a lot to think of. You also see the catapult there, so he's covering maximum ranges. But yeah, I don't know, man. There's so much going on, and as long as we can get rid of Camilla, usually we can end up with a win. Marth on defense, I think he's going to be fantastic. I tried him, like I said, I just didn't figure out how to. I couldn't figure out how to. It broke my rally trap, and I just didn't want to bother to build a whole new defense with him there because of that. So I'll do that at a. Let's see what comes out on the Fallen banner. and then figure out what to do with Marth on defense. I think he's definitely going to end up there because having him on offense is great and all, but I think I need the help more on defense. So that's where Marth will probably end up. SDR, haven't practiced. Well, haven't played as many games as I thought. I think I'm just going to try to get a win and then get out because currently I am still putting the final touches on Top War, Top Heroes. I'm putting in the final touches there, getting to the end game pretty much. Well, there's going to be a whole new season and stuff that comes out, but there's really not going to be that much to do. I realize that the activities are winding down, and I finished the adventure mode, both of them. So all that's left is to just like do random trials, try to climb up a ladder and then gather resources. Man, building like your castle is it takes like 5 days. 5 days, 30 days. It's taking that projection. It's taken a long time to complete things, so I'll have the time to give back to Faye, is essentially what I'm saying, because I'm kind of slowing down in Top Heroes, but for the next couple of weeks, I'll still be a little bit busy, but not like too or as engrossed as I have been, because I've been engrossed. I've been playing that game almost nonstop. It's not even really playing, it's resource management, and my god do I enjoy resource management. The power of money, or diamonds as they call it in the game. It's fantastic, man. It's really fun.
Leave it to me.
But not everyone is heavily microtransaction-y. Really forces you to spend money. That game does. You don't have to, but it does incentivize you when you do. So
why not?
but also, it's not as much as Fire Emblem as Faye. Faye is way more, way more. But then also, Faye gives you more for the value, whereas Top Heroes, not so much. It's good low-hanging fruit, but they have those bigger budget items, and those bigger budget items don't really give much value. So I tend to stay away from those. $2 here and there gets me some good stuff, but this one's a wrap. Just gotta figure out who to take out Marth with and call it a day. Again, this was a really good match. It feels like this is payback for what he did to me with the Camilla. Hopefully I don't see too much of that. Fatal Smoke Camilla pretty much cheers through everything, man. Not much you can do about that. GG's. See you in the next one.